So we're here back again. What you got for us on the day, Jeff?
Well, I mean, we kind of touched base last time on DEI. We talked about civil rights versus human rights. We talked about the executive orders, and we've seen a lot of that stuff. So a lot of people are talking about that. The one we didn't get to was egg prices. Because you remember right there at the end, it was like, eggs are so expensive, Biden's horrible because the eggs are expensive. And they've doubled since then.
Man, listen, I went in there the other day, to your point.
Yeah.
It was $5.29
for a
dozen of eggs, man. And I got I usually get the brown.
Okay. That was a good price. You got over.
Oh, I did?
Currently, because I saw 7 something for a dozen.
Oh, well, shout out to Lowe's.
At Food Line. Yeah.
Shout out to Lowe's.
Food Line is fairly affordable. Matter of fact, Food Line was out of the regular ones, and Costco didn't have none.
You can give us a sponsorship, you know.
Hey, Food Lines, they based out of Salisbury.
Food Line too, you know.
They based out of Salisbury. That might be possible.
Yeah, shoot us one here.
Yeah, holler at them. Yeah.
Piggly
Wiggly out of South Carolina. I'm not above Piggly Wiggly.
I'm not either.
My grandma
save a lot either.
My grandmama shopped at Piggly Wiggly.
Don't play with it, guy.
But for real, the whole. So here's my problem.
Yeah.
There are people who understand how the economy works and how pricing works for products.
Yeah.
Those people pretend to not know that, so you can say, "Oh, the Biden administration did this, and that's why your eggs are high." That most of the time, federal government ain't really got that much to do with why the eggs or something like that may be high for you.
I got you.
Unless it's like FDA or like recalls or like stricter guidelines, but that's for your safety.
Understood.
When you're dealing with chicken and stuff like that, that's salmonella. If that's not taken care of properly, you can die.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is one of the other things that Trump is trying to get rid of is the FDA and the EPA, and we came out of WHO. So basically, everybody who's a watchdog for safety, who would make these companies spend the money to take care of you, he's getting rid of. Now, why would a person want the people who keep an eye on them to make sure they do things right to be fired so I can do whatever the fuck I want with whatever I want to do, and whatever happens, happens? Now, so you'd have to sue them in court, but how would you even prove that they didn't do something right if there's no guidelines for you to point to?
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
So last time we had the chicken shortage, it was because of COVID, and then people were getting sick in the plant, so you couldn't, farm the chickens, do all this stuff. That's usually what happens. Something affects the market, so you don't have enough product.
Either bird flu.
So I still don't know what's happening. I think we did have a bird flu scare. Is that what's doing the eggs?
I think
is it
the
bird
one time it was a bird flu scare.
I remember
that they did that because there was, and what made me remember that was there was a story done on a family who were selling eggs, and they were the only eggs that you could get that were not contaminated.
Okay.
Because they weren't affected by the bird flu or E. coli, whatever it is, salmonella, to your point.
Yeah.
In what you were saying earlier. And they were the only one. I remember Good Morning Show did a documentary on that. It was a short piece they did on it. And they were selling eggs, man. Wow, you couldn't get eggs anywhere else. And I think it was in Texas.
Yeah.
And they were the only ones who were selling those eggs, and people were buying them by the droves.
Okay.
But they had like they were overstocked in eggs.
So
go ahead.
I looked it up while we're talking.
Okay.
So according to most sources, it is the bird flu that killed off a lot of the birds to be able to make the eggs. So there's just not that many.
Okay.
So that's why the price is high. And they were saying expect that for the rest of the year.
Wow.
As of yesterday. So I guess it takes time to recoup enough chickens to make that happen. So I mean, honestly, it makes dating easier because tell a girl you're gonna make her breakfast. That's like a steak dinner. Okay. So looking up the bird flu, that is part of why the prices are high, which understanding adults who can work through information would see that.
Yeah.
But if you just need someone to be the blame so you can do what you want to do, then you say, no, that was them. The Biden administration didn't do anything for the bird flu. If anything, they're still recouping and getting back on track from where Trump disbanded all of our disease prevention people right after Obama. Which is saying again.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. We just had COVID, cripples the country, and really his own presidency, because Trump might have won again if he'd done better with COVID and if the economy hadn't tanked because of COVID.
I agree.
So I'll even say some of that wasn't his fault as far as how he lost.
Right.
Because people are stupid and didn't take his actual actions.
I agree with you.
So the first time you didn't think it was a big deal. You underreacted. You sold the whole, they're just trying to, and basically tried to use it as a campaign ploy.
True.
I'll fix it if you elect me again.
Yeah.
And now this time you do the same thing. Yeah. So like in the middle of the bird flu,
you do this for me, I do this for you.
COVID strain still coming out.
Yeah.
Ebola's coming back. Like a lot of these diseases, was it foot and mouth disease that come back?
Yeah, it's crazy
because you're just not doing what you're supposed to do.
Shingles is,
and you got
all that stuff.
Like I sincerely, we used to joke about the space race by all these billionaires. Like they trying to leave us. They're trying to tear it up and leave us. Dude, I am 100% serious. Like, you cannot tell me that's not part of the plan. Is that we going to have a way out in case this don't work out, and we're going to make as much money as we can. So that's why you tear up all the systems, and then you do that. So
all these aircrafts they building too? Yeah. I mean, you know.
I mean, science fiction is usually right.
Yeah.
And the reason it's right is because the creative people who write that type of thing typically base it on current science.
They tapped in.
So you're like, okay, NASA has these capabilities now. They want to be able to do this in 20 years. So the story you write 40 years from now is based on that.
True.
Because like, what is The Matrix?
Oh yeah.
Star Wars,
which was so real.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Lord of the Rings is an older version. That's like a futuristic from the 40s.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Lord of the Rings and those books was written around the time of World War One. So a lot of the themes you're seeing there are about Hitler. Sauron is basically Hitler, and the rise of darkness.
Yeah. Yeah.
That repeats in every sci-fi because that repeats in the world. Right. We are doing that now.
Right. You're right.
Pick your story. If you love Harry Potter, Voldemort just got reelected, and Dolores Umbridge is in charge of education. Right? Yeah. And if you know her name, watch some Harry Potter. It's the lady in
just watch Harry Potter. Yeah. That's why I laugh, y'all.
But the only reason he was able to. There were people who knew how evil he was. And even the people who knew, but oh no, he never come back. Yeah. Oh no, that's weird, but that's not him. Oh no, he didn't mean it that way. There's always an apologist. Yeah. I'm not racist. I just don't think, black people and white people should be together. And I remember that. You remember that?
I remember that, yes sir.
I went to the mall once with three white friends. Yeah. My best friend is a dude and two white girls in class. We were all there like after school for something, looking for some alone middle school for the first time without your parents. Yeah. And a white lady literally walked up to us and was like, I just don't think, y'all should be together. Like, took it upon herself to say that. Mind you, I ain't dating neither one of them. Neither was the other dude. We just there for class. Right? Like that person,
those days,
raised these people now. And so that's where we're not seeing that connection. Yeah. Darkness does not rise up by itself. There is a plan. There are evil actors. Yes. But most people are either indifferent or lazy. Apathy kills more people in that sense. So by the time it touches you and hits your feet, now it's like, oh, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
We got to stop that. Like, but where were you? You see what I'm saying?
I do.
And in our community, I will say our parents and parents' parents, whether that's Tulsa or Durham or all these other places.
Ready for a popcorn adventure? Popcorn Remix is more than just a snack. It's an experience. With over 50 bold and unique flavors like king crab legs, hot wings, and lemon pepper, and Charlene's banana pudding, every bite is a burst of culinary creativity. Founded by entrepreneurs Ryan Richmond and Greg Bowman, Popcorn Remix turns life's toughest moments into something sweet. Visit their Conyers, Georgia store or order online at popcornremix.com and explore flavors you've never imagined. That's popcornremix.com, where every kernel tells a story. Teachers and parents, are you ready to empower your students to become stronger writers? Check out Rethinking Writing One Word at a Time by Sheila Beverly, a workbook that's been praised by educators for its innovative approach to teaching grammar and writing. Dr. Daryl Morris calls it a motivational hook that helps students get their ideas down on paper. And other teachers rave about its hands-on tools like the Grammar Bubble Manipulative Toy to make learning fun. Perfect for classrooms or home learning, get your copy now on Amazon and watch your students' writing skills shine.
We have examples of pooling the resources.
Oh, yes, sir.
Because people are like, oh, black people got to get together and fix it. No, we do that. Have done that. Should keep doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Understanding that at the time, it was almost like we're just going to come off to the side. We're not going to make any waves. We're just going to do us. Now we know that will never be sufficient because the minute we pull away and do well, they're coming for it.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's disbanding DEI,
which is crazy.
Suing the young lady who had the hedge fund that was giving money to women entrepreneurs.
Oh yeah.
Remember focusing on capital?
I remember
and
that.
they sued her.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that affect you at all?
No.
You have all the money you need, and you mad she giving people who have none some money. Like
an overflow.
We just need to know that's what's coming. So
we
need to be aggressive in how we plan our defenses. Think zombie movie.
Yeah,
I hate zombie movies. First of all, I do not.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
I don't like all the gross stuff.
I don't like it either.
But a key unit there is when you survive whatever happens.
Yeah,
and the world changes. The people who survive are the ones who get together and pool resources and build defenses.
True.
Now they may go hunt and do whatever, but they build the defense.
That's true.
And we don't do that. We almost act like if I follow all the rules, things will work out for me. If I'm a good person, you know, I'm respectable, respectability politics. If I dress right, if I talk right, if I go to the right school, if I have the right connections, things are going to work out for me. And they will to a degree. To a degree. But ask Kamala about that.
Yeah.
Right? Like you go to the right school, you do the right job, you do the work, you show up, you have integrity, and then somebody says, "Oh no, you don't want to vote for her because of it's middle school lunchroom."
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a poo-poo head. Don't vote for her. That was basically his platform.
Yeah. That's what it looked like too.
But see, for a person who just needs a reason to hate you, it don't matter what he said. He didn't need a real reason. He just needed to say something,
and the rest will follow.
And so that follows me to the next subject, which was apologists. So that's what you asked me about, and I didn't have that title, but apologists are some of the biggest killers of our culture, specifically. In this case, we had one in the news with Snoop and Nelly and Rick Ross in them.
Yeah, Soldier Boy.
Yeah, and see, go ahead, finish that thought. I think I know what you're gonna say. That's why I want you to finish it.
I'm just kind of at a pause because, you know, when I think about Soldier Boy and oh man.
See, okay, so what I think you're saying is
it's bro, you know it.
You gotta give me more than that. What? Like, okay, I'll go while you think about it.
Yeah.
The thing with Soldier Boy is
smart dude.
Well,
smart dude when it comes to business.
I personally feel like everyone has a strength. So everyone is smart in something.
Absolutely.
It just might not be the thing you think smart people do.
Absolutely.
Right. Because I can't fix a car.
No.
And I know some dumb as a box of rocks people who can fix your car. And I mean, he don't even need no book or nothing. He just I would never call anybody
hell
slow
no.
because of that.
Hell no. No.
So I put him in that group only because of some other decisions I see him make. But
I see what you're saying.
I'm not even upset with him in this story, though.
I'm not either.
I was upset with Snoop.
I think everybody is kind of like upset with Snoop because of the initial statement that he made.
Exactly.
You know, I don't really think it's so much that they went and performed and made the money. Well, it could be a little bit, but I just think with Snoop coming out when he made that statement and he did it online and it was so aggressive and so pro-black.
Yeah.
Till it was almost like you double back though, bro. What happened to the statement that you made?
He was on,
and we are the hardest people. Black folks. If you say you're gonna rise up to the cause, and you double back on the cause, we're gonna let you have it.
Because you could have just said nothing the first time.
You just could have said nothing at all.
The first time you could have let that go.
Just could have let
and
that
I think
go.
that's why Rick Ross ain't catching no flack.
Yeah, I think so too. Nobody's really saying anything.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I thought the initial story was talking about the inauguration.
I did too.
But they were saying an inaugural party.
Yeah.
So that mattered to me. Once I saw like, oh, you talking about a party. Like I thought you was gonna be there doing something like
I thought it was a Bitcoin. Wasn't it a Bitcoin threw the party or was it a
so it was crypto technically.
Okay.
Not exactly the same thing.
Okay, but I understood what you're saying. Yeah.
So that industry was throwing the party. But it was for the inauguration weekend. So by all intents and purposes, it's just a party by
Just a
people who
party.
support Trump. In that sense, I do agree with some of the entertainers who are like, hey, man, I got to make this money.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. My problem is you made the video years ago. Nothing got better since then. So what changed you to where it's okay now when it wasn't okay then? That's one. And then two, like even the backlash, you could have just been like, hey, man, I have different obligations. I think that's what
everybody's waiting on too.
Well,
it's like we're waiting on some
I had
kind
different
of
obligations now. I was on the Olympics. Me and Martha Stewart be hanging out. And for all we know, he has interests that were directly tied to this. That might be, and he does give money to lots of black things. So
done a lot for the community.
That may end up helping some other community project.
Absolutely.
But that's not what you said, and that's not what you did.
Yes.
You came back and said, "Oh, now you ain't gonna hate on me because I did A, B, C, and D." Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yeah. Because you remember when everybody was getting on Ice Cube, and Ice Cube said, "Yo,
Ice Cube so lucky.
Who else can help? I mean, who else? Ain't nobody else giving us no money.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody else helping us. So I went to find out how could we get the money."
So how'd you feel about that?
I guess there was a point. There was a good point to that, and there was a bad point to that. It's like, who you getting the money from, though? Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's where everybody is. Like, why are you gonna ask this dude, though? And I don't mean to reopen that up again, but in order they tie together, though.
It's a good point for this.
I'm just sitting here like, what kind of backlash would?
Let me think. So
go ahead.
So my problem then was Steve Harvey, Ice Cube.
I see what you're saying.
All them went.
I remember all of them went.
So as
even the black preachers that went,
right,
I could understand.
But even the preachers less so.
Yeah.
Now they were somewhat mega preachers, so they kind of same thing, basically entertainers to me. That's another subject.
I mean, it's all about the money.
Well,
I hate to say that.
I don't want to say all, but it's a lot about the money.
Oh yeah, it is.
So them going, if I'm a person of faith who is claiming that he says he's a person of faith and I don't know him,
sure,
I might go there to have the conversation so that I could basically say whether or not I did or did not believe that.
I get what you're saying.
So when I go back to my congregation, my bad.
No, you good.
When I go back to the congregation, I can say, look, I sat with him. I don't like a lot of the stuff, but I will say that, he does know God or whatever. Like,
sure.
So for them, I'm okay. I'm a little bit okay with Ice Cube and them going because you are now at a level where you have access to the president.
Oh.
And honestly, that's a pat on your back. And that's how they should have basically framed it. They asked me to come.
Absolutely.
I'm going to come have the conversation.
And I think that's where I was with it. It was like,
but.
okay. Let me tell you where I was.
You didn't wait for the butt, though.
I know there's a butt in there.
Go ahead.
But see, I'm with you. The access. Having access to that, now you have capital. Now you have some power. Now you have some money and some resources. Because you probably got some white folks on your team now, too, that can help reinforce the initiative that you're trying to push. And there is a way that now, okay, I can sit at the table here and we could talk about it. But the playing field is still not fair. Is that where you're going?
The playing field's not fair. And you spent your life, especially Ice Cube. I mean, America's Most Wanted on up.
Yes, sir.
Whether that was when he's a Muslim, I'm not sure if he still is.
I don't know.
I'm not positive.
I'm not positive on that either.
You know enough about how this stuff works to know that the moment you let them in, whoever them above you is, whoever got that money that you asking for, they're gonna change what you do. That's why journalism is how it is now. Needing the corporate money and not selling ads and papers and things like that is how they're beholden to them. You can't say certain things on certain
no, you can't.
So if I'm Ice Cube, if I'm Steve Harvey, if I'm wealthy black people, wealthy, not just rich.
I know what you mean.
You are the person we go to now. You don't need to go to them.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be having what's the young brother from Tennessee with the ponytail who's always, in Congress?
Oh,
the one they tried to
think of
kick
his
out.
name. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
it was three of them there.
Yes.
Why aren't you having them come to your office and finding out what can you do for them? You got, it's Tennessee, man. $100,000 do a lot in Tennessee.
Oh, a whole lot in
right?
Tennessee.
So why are you spent your life telling us not to do this and that for the white man, with the white man, all this stuff, and as soon as you get a chance, you sitting there smiling on TV, and you knew it was going to be a camera opportunity. So if it's me and I go, any other business meeting you go to, there's no cameras in the lobby.
Right. Right.
They're there because I got black friends. Hey, want to see my black friends? Look at Ross. Me and Ross, we've been cool forever. Shake my hand, Ross.
Hey,
that's all they want to do. So go in the back door, have the meeting, sneak out the back door, tell people, man, I met him, he was cool. But you don't gotta be in the lobby cheesing and shit.
That's a good point.
That's my problem.
That's a very good point.
And so for Snoop now, that's my beef with him is you are an entertainer. I'm sure he got paid very well just to DJ a party.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is great.
Absolutely.
But to me, that is also a time you can make a statement. You're in crypto. You got the microphone. Make sure you speak to this room of rich white people that, hey, crypto is supposed to balance the economy and be for everyone. That's the whole point of normalizing economic structures, being able to share money different.
Sure.
Let's make sure we keep it that way.
Do you think he did it?
No, he didn't do that shit. Because if he did, he would have showed it. That would have been his reply. I was like, look, I totally understand what you're saying, but you know, to say what we need to say, I need to be in that room. That's a fair point. Okay. And if the songs you performed and the speech you gave and the hands you shook said that, you'd have been like, hey, look, I understand why y'all upset, but you weren't there.
Yeah. Okay.
But what you said was, oh, y'all mad at me for going to blah, blah. Like, don't turn the table on me, nigga. Like, that was you.
Yeah.
You did that.
Got you.
And then Nelly was worse because, like, to me,
I saw the interview with Nelly.
Nelly been this far from a country singer the whole time. Like, he should be mad at Shabuzi for getting famous doing black country because you was doing country the whole time. Hot in Here is a country song. It's just got a different beat.
All day long.
And that's why they love it so much.
Yes.
But yeah,
when he crossed over and did that,
he never was in hip hop. His closest thing to hip hop was Bad Boys 2 soundtrack with Puffy and all them. That was Shake Your Tail Feather.
Yeah, and
Tip Drill, of course.
Yeah, Tip Drill
that's
and Ones.
BET Uncut classic shot.
In my Air Force Ones.
Air Force Ones was hard. That was good.
Oh, that was all about community there. That was a good one.
But you know, I went to a PWI, so like,
okay, you
did not really hear Nelly in the black clubs he went to, but when you go to them other bars, that's all you hear.
Oh,
that's all I'm
did
saying.
Hear it there. So his music really broke barriers by. So his fan base was pretty much a white fan base. Would you say that?
I would say it's at least 50-50, which is uncommon for hip hop artists.
Well, what about the statement that I really want to hear your thoughts on that too? What about the statement that Nelly made? Like, I'm not a politician. Yeah. Like, I'm not here.
That's a cop out.
Okay.
To me.
Got you.
It's a cop out. Politicians. Lifetime politicians is one thing. You know, you Mitch McConnell's, your Chuck Schumer. Yes. They do this. Okay. But most people, like, politics wasn't supposed to be that way.
Right.
The whole purpose is governed by the people. So you are a politician.
In a sense.
You talk about politics, you're a politician.
Yeah.
You got an opinion on something, you're a politician. You vote, you're a politician. Like, and you should be.
Yeah.
If everyone was a little bit more political, a little bit more politician, you'd have a much more informed voting base. When we have some of this stupid shit happen, where you're seeing now, like on Instagram this week, a lot of these reporters, especially the white ones who like go to Trump rallies and stuff and talk to MAGA people, like, I would bet you 50 to 60% of MAGA voters aren't for what they voted for. Like, this particular dude was talking about DEI, and he was like, guy asked him, what was he most happy with, and it was DEI, it's got to be based on merit, blah blah. But through the questions, and he was like, tell me more, specifically, what do you like, what do you not like? The dude basically is for DEI. Like, I don't think it's not fair that, women can't get this job because of this and she's qualified. So, in those cases, it's okay. Like, everything was like, in those cases, it's okay. That's the cases.
I got you.
You were just watching a TV show or listening to a person who told you, this is wrong. They're taking over this and they're doing that.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And if you just dig in a little deeper.
Oh, yeah.
And let's say my state person, whatever, is doing something that I think is a little too far.
Sure.
I think we had the conversation about like trans or something like that one time.
Yes.
So let's say I don't think trans athletes should be able to play sports, period. Not necessarily saying that, but just say that's my point of view.
I know what you mean.
And so I'm telling him, like, look, I think you're letting them run rampant. And it's, transgenders playing everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, if I look into that, that's not how the numbers say. It might not change my original point. I might still think they shouldn't be there at all.
Okay.
And honestly, in my case, I think athletics itself should be about even competition.
It's got to be fair.
And so whatever we agree on is the rules. And I would not lean as much into that as I would in, say, jobs or other things. Because the Negro Leagues existed for a reason.
Yeah, that's true.
It was inferior in resources, but it wasn't inferior in the players and in the sport.
I
And
get what you're
that led
saying.
to, you know what I'm saying? And there was no safety issue, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I get the argument on both, but I feel like sometimes we have to beg and plead for civil rights and for acknowledgement as people.
Man, we do.
Based on, decades and decades.
So much trauma.
Of just ostracizing us, of the assumption of inequality just based on blackness.
Yeah, man.
Right? Like, you're smart. You're so smart, Ross. The reason I'm saying that is because I didn't think you were smart, because when I met you, you didn't seem smart.
Right.
That's what they're telling you when they say you're so articulate.
I get what you're saying.
You dress so well. Like, fill in the blank of, I'm just, I'm so impressed with you.
I see you. I see where you're going.
Because you were told that we don't do this.
Yeah.
My dad used to get so hot. We'd go to eat. It's for family of 4 eating at a restaurant.
Right.
And me and my brother, we are not running around the table yelling slap. We don't do that.
No.
I don't ever recall that. My mom can challenge me if she remembers the time before I was like 3.
Man, my mom didn't play that
right.
either.
So we sit there, and mind you, we'd be like Mayflower and Winston, something like that.
I know what you mean.
So we sit in the middle, and it's
Quincy's was our spot.
It's like them East Rolls, boy. Hey, holla at your boy.
Yes, sir.
I ate many a meal of just East Rolls and water.
Come on, man.
Mom was like, you don't want to eat? You just eat the
Yeast rolls. Them yeast rolls. And the wings were crazy, too.
I couldn't do
you
wings
couldn't do
yet.
wings
I was picky. I didn't like
Understood.
Yeah. But the waitress always come by and be like, y'all are just the greatest family. Like, you look so nice. And I bet you half those compliments were legit. Like, y'all are cute, nice looking family.
I
but
get what
Dad
you're saying.
always took it like, what we supposed to look like.
What
What are we supposed to act? How loud we supposed to be? Like, now, and so we would look around and like, see, that's what they think we supposed to be doing. Them kids running around.
Now, you know what's so funny? My mom used to take offense to that. Well, how black people supposed to talk?
Exactly.
And she was an English teacher. And she would always say, no, you're talking the way you're speaking the way you're supposed to speak.
Oh, yeah, because black people tell you talk white.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
All middle school.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah, I don't talk white.
Yeah.
I'm speaking correctly.
I'm speaking English.
Right.
Like
we know how to switch it up.
My mom's a teacher too, so you know.
Yeah, so you get it.
And actually, most of my aunts are in some form of education, professors, teachers, and so on. And they don't know none of them play that.
Man, what?
Yeah,
no.
I mean, and if you
correct you real fast. What? I grew up that way.
See, and my
still today,
communication for me is about us actually meeting somewhere.
Yeah, man.
It's not me talking. It's not me listening to you. It's supposed to be like, if I'm talking to you, it should be something I'm giving you or want you to get.
Absolutely.
And if I don't give it to you, you can get it, then I failed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to meet you wherever you are. So like, if you did talk, we both can slide into.
We can go there.
We can be country.
Yes, we can.
We can be a little hood.
Yes, we can.
I mean, I can be a nerd. I can talk. Sci-fi.
We can give you that.
I speak some languages now. Like, English is my only documented language, but I speak some language. So, but like, I think that's where politics has to come in as a different language. So if you speak the language and you understand politics fully, you might have to break that down differently to you, who may break it down differently to them. And like, but everybody's kind of moving along on the same plane.
I agree.
Right. Yeah. And so I think that's where we go next, is identifying those people. Like, fine, you don't trust politicians, you trust somebody who's in politics.
Oh, yeah.
Start with them.
Yeah.
Start with that person.
I agree.
And back them up so they don't have to sell their soul to stay in power. Because that's what happens.
Yeah,
you don't got the backing, you got to get with somebody else.
Yeah, that's good. That's true, too.
One of my friends from school, Raina Walters.
Yes.
So she's running for, I forget the title, but it's about the DNC and voter engagement. It's a national position.
Oh, I love it.
Because if she was in North Carolina, she's been in DC. She's been in politics the whole time we've been out of college.
Oh, I love that.
So if you don't like what the Democratic Party has done in certain areas, that's the time to get involved with someone that you know that's doing that. And figure out, like, you may learn, you do hate this.
Yeah.
But you'll know it because you were involved in it.
Absolutely.
You've seen how the cookies are made.
Yeah.
If you're not doing that, then you're just guessing. You're over there saying, what they do is this. They just want that, and they're going to do this. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
How would you know?
Yeah, you won't know.
When did
that.
you ever go to a meeting?
Yeah.
When did you send in something to the Attorney General telling them to look at it? Like, the people who are there to protect us, if you don't back them up, they won't be there long. Because there's always somebody willing to get on their knees for,
always.
you know,
I know what you mean.
For Trump's favor. And
I
why, I don't know, because everybody who does that gets fired and goes to jail later. I guess you figure
or
they'll
end
pardon
up
you
suing
too.
them.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Exactly.
insane.
Yeah,
But,
so I think that ties back to the apologists for me, because at a certain point we have to hold people accountable, and you don't have to cancel everybody.
No, I don't. See, that's what I was going to say. I don't believe in canceling culture.
Yeah.
I do believe in freedom of speech. I think everybody can say how they feel about something. But I do want to ask you this, Jeff. What about the? I'll make reference to Jay-Z's 444 album. When the family feuds, nobody wins, right? Just in that statement he made in one of the songs that he made, as it pertains to us disagreeing publicly, what would you say to that? If it's like, well, we fussing and arguing in front of white folks and showing white folks us being vulnerable and being angry with each other. What do you say to that, with us feuding the way that we are? And I understand from the place where the feuding is, and what do you say about that though? Instead of us saying, hey, let's pull each other to the side, say what we need to say, or let me say this, or because whatever was done publicly needs to be said in love publicly.
Okay, it's a long question.
I mean, yes. That was a long one, wasn't it, bro? I know you was like, okay, Ross.
Let me jot this down right
here. Bring it in.
Yeah, let me jot my notes down. No, but I get the gist.
You get the gist of the question, though, in a sense. The way I framed it.
I hear you.
Okay.
I think the problem is that the person who's upset always acts like it's a feud, whether or not it was just like, because I could be correcting you out of love, but if you in the right mindset, it's like, well, why you gotta come at me like that? So, and I can be that person. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you think about it later, like, okay, I was tripping. Like that wasn't as bad as I felt like.
Right, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So there's that. I think.
Okay.
I think if you're gonna say it, I'm more of a 10 toes down kind of person. So if I said it as a question, if we were having a conversation, and I wasn't like making a statement, then I might need to clean that up.
Okay.
And if you said, hey, that's
I got you.
That's a little too far. Maybe we want to do, then we can have that conversation.
Sure.
Personally, I don't like to be challenged without you having the information to challenge me. So if I said something wrong, tell me what I said wrong.
Yeah.
Tell me how I can find out where it's right. Give me some more information. I'm cool with that. But if you just like, I don't want to hear that.
Sure.
So that's part one.
Okay.
As far
I like
as,
what you said too. Pretty much like, if you're gonna stand on it, stand on it.
Yeah. Like I don't. One of my relationship issues is that I tend to stand on what I said.
Stand on business.
And that's not always optimal if you're trying to
that's true,
work some things out.
That's
so
true.
I'm working on that. So it's not always about standing.
I think we all got to work on that too.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, Jeff.
Well, I'm working on it through asking questions. So that would be my point to you, is that someone challenges you, or I need to challenge you, instead of me saying, Ross, that was stupid, and you blah blah. Understood. Or like, okay, you have this platform. Let's say you get the call tomorrow, and big money. I mean, you buy this whole building. I mean, you just doing it.
Yeah.
Well, when I challenge how you allocate that resource, or who you pull up, and who you do what, I could be asking you, how's it been since you got that money, Ross? Like, how's your life changed? Like, what's been the biggest issue you've had with doing whatever? Because some of what I'm saying you should do, I probably don't understand, because I didn't get that money. I don't have that.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
But if I challenge you first, so okay, we'll take Snoop for instance. If he doesn't make that first video, I think some of what he would have got was, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
And he would have said, hey man, I gotta get this money, whatever. Well, I'm not gonna judge you as harshly because you didn't have the first video.
Sure.
And now I know. Now I do know you're more money hungry than you are ethical for me.
I see where you're going.
So my support for you would diminish, because you're basically telling me you'll go stand next to anybody that pays you. And people who do things just for money are prostitutes.
Yeah.
That's why it's the world's oldest profession. I don't think everybody was selling ass. I think some people were selling themselves.
But you know what?
Right?
You're right, though.
So if you only do it for money, like you would never do it for any other reason. And so my problem when he said it was people kept saying, like, oh, everybody's got that number. You know, everybody's got a line until they get this number. Okay, well, if there's a number that'll make you do something you said you'd never do, that's not a person I can respect, because at some point, that number is going to involve me.
I get where you're going now.
Right? Like somebody's going to pay you enough or give you enough to not to sell me out, and you just show you'll sell out whatever you thought. You have no ideas when it comes to that much money.
Man.
So cool. I'm not judging you.
Sure.
Because, you know, I want to buy Island too. Like, I mean,
I know what you're saying.
But we can't be cool to that level because I see who you are now. And you told me.
That's true, man.
So, like, that's how I see that. The family feuding part, if you're really family.
That was the only reference I could use.
Right. But I like the reference. I like the reference.
Yeah.
But if you're really family, you're not going to feud. Your real family can check you. And y'all might not speak for however long it takes. But that's your family.
That's your family. And there is no feud.
Yeah. And like for dudes, I've used this analogy. We can step outside.
Yeah, all day.
Most guy friends, like, we can go outside and handle it for real if you want. Like, if you're really upset, let's go outside. That's how most of us grew up.
Yeah, we grew up that way. Yes, sir.
Some of your best friends you fought with. I bet you $20. Some of your longest friends.
Man, yeah.
The first time you really had a conversation,
we had some arguments. Yes, sir.
You felt disrespected. They felt disrespected. You handled it. You respected each other because of the way you handle it, and you move forward.
I've had friends.
That's what I'm saying.
I've had friends check me over the years about decisions that I made.
Well, and
they disagreed with
sometimes you got, or maybe you disrespected them, and didn't know you did,
and
so they checked you. You can say, okay, I see what you're talking about. So as far as the who's watching, I grew up in a house that's that same thing. You don't talk about the house stuff outside.
I get what you're saying.
You definitely don't embarrass in front of white people.
No, not at all.
So we're not gonna be out here in raggedy clothes. We're not gonna be cursing and doing. I don't curse in front of adults still. This is probably the most I've ever cursed in front of adults because the camera standing there. To be honest.
See, I don't
so
either.
it's the people that know me probably watch this and be like, oh my goodness.
But you know, it's a lot of things. I'm still that way too. Like, it's certain things I won't
You just don't do that.
in front of
I don't curse
elders.
in front of my parents.
Nah.
I don't even like doing song lyrics with cursing in the title in front of my parents.
Man, I don't even like to drink in front of my mom, even to this day.
Now, we do
Unless, let me say this. Now, it's not intentional.
Yeah.
But now, if you come to my house, I'm drinking.
Yeah.
So that's different.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm not going to bring a bottle to her house.
Right.
Mom, what's up?
Well, I'm actually in charge of bringing liquor to my parents' house.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't keep liquor in the house. So we do like Christmas, Thanksgiving.
That's okay.
That's Uncle Jeff's job. Uncle Jeff brings the liquor.
Okay, I get it, bro. I'm with you from that.
You can't make eggnog with no nog. So like that's
sure game,
I'm in charge of nog.
Yes, sir.
But no, like the family aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yes, we keep some things in the house.
Yeah.
No, we don't need to drag all of our business out into the public square.
Nah, not at all.
But if that's where it happened, that's where they check you,
then that's where they're going.
That's what we're gonna handle.
Yeah.
Like my dad, you act up in the store, you gonna get beat in the store.
Yeah. Okay, I get that part of it too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was just a question.
No, that's
I wanted to ask, because I thought about it. On my way coming in today, I actually thought about it, and I was like, man, the only thing I could when I was going in the chat. And because it's so current, it's still happening.
Yeah,
I don't care what he posts. Man, they handed it to him.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I wanted to say, even with them doing that, man, some of them guys making, if I'm not mistaken, I saw something today where a Soulja Boy makes $30K to $100K every post that he makes.
I believe it. He was early into social.
But he was early into it.
Yeah.
So
he's probably got several streams of income.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
They're making
no question. Serious money. So even if they could just get on and say, hey, I need to make a quick 30 grand right quick, or quick 100,000. So is he still, are the other entertainers pretty much the same way too? Making money off of the post or even the disagreements that may be going back and forth?
Anybody with enough followers gets paid off posts. That's about your followers and your
I understand
interactions.
Your interactions.
But Ross owns like a bunch of wing stops
Yeah, he does.
Snoop has the wine and a bunch of nobody's hurting for money on that stuff.
Oh no, sir.
And so that was my thing, was don't use money as the argument when you don't need the money.
Yeah, I actually like the little gin and juice.
Right. Now, what I told you last time was the crypto being what crypto is and kind of in its infancy.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
And then Trump just passed some legislation for that. I didn't really get the full details. It was in my app that does Coinbase. Yes. But that's you trying to get in early. I ain't got no problem with that.
Right.
To be honest, like if you're doing that and you're making those connections so that you can be in the next big thing. I mean, if we all go back to before Apple stopped, quadruple triples, or even before Microsoft.
Oh yes,
before Silicon Valley.
Absolutely.
This same thing happened there. There were definitely this same thing was happening with no social media or something like that.
I agree.
So I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I have a problem if you supported Kamala, which I thought he said he did. And if you know how this all went down and you knew what was coming, which we all do, we all have seen it. This is predictable.
Oh yeah.
That's not something I will put my name on.
I get where you're going.
And then when you do it, like you have to know how you're going to be used. Even if you thought I'm just going to DJ. Yeah. Well, what's it look like? Yeah. When black icons are participating in this, you see what I'm saying?
I do.
Like you look back at Kareem and Jim Brown, all them, like they were in the same situation.
Muhammad Ali.
They could have been used in the exact same way. Oh, look at these upstanding black gentlemen, blah, blah. And they tried to do that with Ali when he wouldn't go to war. Oh, they tried to show the black athletes who did go to war and shame him.
Oh, he was.
So it always happens. For it. Exactly. Well, I mean, he used the law.
Yeah, he did.
And that's the other thing we got to do better is
use the law.
There's so many black women lawyers. Because that's been a push in the last 20, 30 years.
Yes.
We got to lean on them and other people who can help us use the system to get what we want. That's how the Civil Rights Act passed.
Understood.
That wasn't, we got beat, they give us rights. They used the legal system.
That's right.
They challenged it in specific places.
That's right.
And like when you hear people say Rosa Parks wasn't the first one to sit on the bus.
Yeah.
Because they were smart enough to know we can't put every single person who's been aggrieved as the plaintiff. We need somebody who can win.
Yeah. And clearly,
that's how we got there. And I think we relaxed a little bit because we got resources. We got Jack and Jill, and we got money, and we got HBCUs are doing all right. Like everybody, LeBron's building schools. Like we good. And now you're realizing the whole time we were building, they were planning on how to dismantle all of that.
Yeah.
And so that means you got to get back in the lab and plan your own stuff.
Are they gonna attack the charter schools? You think they're coming for those charter schools? Because I think about Jalen and the school he has in Detroit and how well that school
My gut says yes. I would bet you if we talk to a person who's really into education, they would tell you some of them are already being come after because credentialing and all that.
Absolutely,
it's not the
man.
State, so it's
and Prime had a school one time, didn't he? Prime time.
I don't know.
Did he have a school
in like Texas or something?
Yeah. I'm not sure if he was successful.
I'm 50-50 on those schools. I like when we take initiative, especially when like a place that doesn't have a decent school and you build that charter and you do it. Yeah, they have all the credentials and the people like that. But some of them are they're not real schools.
I get what you're saying.
And I'm not talking about black schools. I'm talking about charter schools.
I know what you mean. Period.
I would like to see. So basically, what they're doing with their education is they've been underfunding education for decades.
Oh yeah.
So that they can tell you, you're failing, even though they know you're not paying nobody. Like you don't have resources, you don't have teachers' aides, they don't have
any of that.
And you'll get a metal detector, but you won't get a breakfast program. Because half these kids that are coming here violent are freaking hungry.
I'd be mad.
They're not eating at home.
Yeah, I'd be angry.
Here. And then you don't have jobs in your town. You're not doing holistic.
Yeah.
You're not remediating that holistically.
I got you.
What I'd like to see is us have those conversations. So like for Snoop and them, if he said, man, I did this thing because crypto's going to give me $3 million, I'm going to put that in a new school in DC. Or like my boy is the principal of Ron Brown Preparatory Academy in DC.
Okay.
I'm sure they need money. So I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to give them
I see where you're going.
the DJ equipment. I'm going to give them this money for something.
Then that would be different.
And I don't even say you got to tell everybody. Because I only know all your moves. But at least then you can confidently say, hey, look, I had a plan. I realize
I understand what you're saying.
I'm sorry for that part. Yeah. I'm not voicing approval for certain things, but we're working on things. Like Ice Cube did the 3-on-3.
Oh yes, sir.
If that was part of you going to meet Trump and them, I totally get it. But what we have to understand is that's no different to me than black slave owners. Black slave owners were participating in the
When
economy.
you put it that
They
way.
had gotten to the point where they could participate. That's how you build wealth then.
Absolutely.
You wasn't going to do it without slaves.
Nah.
So if you want to get that money, you had to.
They built it off of our backs.
I totally understand that you would want to build wealth and think you're going to do good for black people after, but you still had black slaves. You still had to mistreat some of them because that's what they was doing then. You see what I'm saying? So like, I don't hate you for it.
Right.
But at the same time, we have to be honest about what you're actually doing.
Right.
And your intentions matter, but it's not the same thing as what your actual actions
Absolutely.
are. Yeah.
So look, we'll be right back. We'll be right back with more of Politics as Usual. I'm Chris Ross, Jeff Henighan.